What's good? Matt Clark here at the new Matt Clark. How are each and every one of you doing on this amazing Thursday? I'm doing great. My girl's doing great. My family's doing great. I hope each and every one of you are doing great despite the crazy times that we're living in. Let's be honest, 2022, here we go. If you could please hit that like button. If you could please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button to get all my videos when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that'd be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help support the channel. The link's in the description of most of my videos. So what's up, what's up, what's up? How are each and every one of you doing on this amazing Thursday? I'm good. My fam's good. Work is good. And today was nice and warm outside. But apparently, that's all gonna end tomorrow. By tomorrow night, it's going to be no less than minus 25. Ooh, that's cold. That's really cold, and I'm not looking forward to it. So, I'm just not a fan. You understand? I'm not a fan. But today, I want to talk about opioids. I want to talk about addiction. I feel like it's something that I've kind of neglected for a bit. I haven't really talked about it in a long time, and I feel like it's time to get back on that train because it's really important, especially during this pandemic. We know people are struggling. We know there's a lot of mental health. We know that there's a lot of addiction and suicide and all that stuff happening. So we need to talk about this, and I need to talk about my experiences and show people that it's possible to get out of it. So today I'm going to talk about what opioid addiction felt like to me, what I went through, my experience. So I'm going to quickly go back and build it up. You'll see wagwan. So basically when I started doing drugs, I was like 17 years old. Chemicals. I tried acid one time and I had tried shrooms when I was younger, but for real, I never really got into chemical drugs until I was 17 years old. And at that point, I got into all the rave drugs first, and it quickly escalated. Now, I had never tried heroin. I had never tried pills or anything like that until prison. And I remember trying it for the first time and not being super impressed, being sick, but also not being super impressed because it was prison stuff, right? So I remember I liked the feeling, but didn't know much about it. So anyways, I ended up going out into the community, and for the short time I was out there, I quickly built up an addiction, starting with pills, like perks, building up into Oxycontins, snorting and sniffing, and just progressed throughout the ladder, morphine, Dilaudid, and finally landed on number 4, chasing the dragon, Heroin. And it might be the worst decision I ever made in my life. The only way to describe it is it's like a bad marriage, okay? Because it literally becomes your number one priority. Nothing else matters. Doesn't matter if it's your family, doesn't matter if it's your friends, doesn't matter if it's your freedom. It is what it is. You're gonna put everything on the line to make sure that that relationship is safe, despite the fact that it's toxic. The only thing that's going to stop you is death or forced withdrawals in prison. Now, it saved my life many a times. I know 100% if I never broke the law, I would be dead. I went through too much serious, deep addiction to have handled it for 10, 20 years of my life. There's no possible way that I would still be alive if I didn't break the law. So if there's one thing I'm thankful for with prison, it definitely saved my life a few times, specifically the last time. But opioid addiction got real dark for me. It got real lonely for me. Locking myself away, spending everything I have to feel that hug. And the one way to describe it, I've described it before on this channel, it's like a big, warm hug, only better. It's like the person you love the most hugging you with a warm blanket while you're yawning and so on and so forth. You understand my point. It's like that. And that's why most people stay away from it. And, it's not always an educated guess. Sometimes people just know through stories and what they've heard that it's bad. And I'm telling you, you can imagine, you can think you know what it's like if you've never been around it, and it's worse. Now, I really just sniffed and snorted and smoked drugs for most of my addiction. But the last 90 days or 120 days before I got arrested, I got into banging. I got into intravenous drug use. And anybody who's been there, it changes everything for you. You can never go back to using drugs the other way. It just won't make sense. It won't work. And at the end of the day, if you keep on the road that you're going, you're going to be dead in no time. Literally everybody I was around, every person that I grew up with in the drug subculture is dead. And if they're not dead, they're close to it and really, really in a bad spot or a bad situation. And like I said, the last time I got arrested, it saved my life. And I remember being in the twilight zone, being surrounded by people, but lonely all the time. And just chasing that. I remember I used to mix number 3 and number 4. That's white with brown. I used to like to mix it. So I would do brown first and then white a bunch of times. And every single time I would throw up. It was like I was bulimic. But if I didn't get that throw up, then it wasn't what I was looking for. It wasn't enough. So I would do more. And I remember laying there some nights with my heart beating from doing number 3 and number 4 literally being the only thing that can put me back into a normal mindset. And once you get to that point, once you need that for survival, once you need that for sleep, once you need that just to not feel like you're waking up with the flu every morning, because that's what it feels like. If you don't have your fix, when you wake up in the morning, you will feel like you have the flu. And it'll progressively get worse throughout the day until you get what you're looking for. And it doesn't matter how painful it is, you're always going to go running back if there ain't some work done behind sobering up. Now, there's some people that will dip in really quickly, get a little bit addicted, dip out, never go back, they learn their lesson. But I wasn't that person. I was in a perpetual state of high withdrawals, because I was unemployed at that time. And the only money I got was from doing crime. And you can't do crime all the time. So you go through spurts where you don't have what you need. And there's nothing worse in the world than being a heroin addict and not having your fix. Now, there was a point in time where I was like, I'm going to get sober next year. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get everything together. And I went into prison at first. I got into it. The first few months, I was deep in the subculture, and then I decided I was going to step away. But my mind was going. I was thinking like an addict. I was thinking every day like an addict. I remember I watched this movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's called 28 Weeks Later, okay? It's a zombie movie, and in this movie, the father is infected and he's chasing his kids. And there's scenes in that movie where these zombies are supposed to be stupid and not smart and not be able to think and differentiate. But this one definitely is, and definitely has resentment towards his loved ones, despite the fact that they didn't do anything to him. This disease has made him resentful. And I don't know why that resonated with me. I don't know why it did. But there was a month or so where I dreamt about that. Almost every day. I would see him run in that spot. You know, there's a point in the movie where he runs and he stops and he looks. And they realize that he's there. And I saw that almost every night. And I couldn't figure out why. Why am I seeing this? I still don't really understand. I understand that it was my brain breaking the connection because I was forced to go into withdrawal. And that was another horrible thing. I was never smart enough to put myself on methadone or Suboxone, so I didn't have to break the law to get my fix. I don't want to be on that waste man thing. I don't want to be on it. So I would perpetually be breaking the law, trying to keep up. I'm telling you, if I went on methadone or Suboxone 10 years ago or 7 years ago or whatever, I would have never went back. My mindset immediately changed. I immediately thought differently once I was on Suboxone. And I realize now that harm reduction for me is the best option. I don't know if I'm going to be on Suboxone for the rest of my life. I just know that there was a long period of time where I was fighting, trying to do the right thing, but I just couldn't. I kept getting sucked back into it. And I would constantly just throw my life away for the addiction. There was a point where I wanted to be a bad boy. I wanted to be a criminal, but it changed. Over time it changed. I was just feeding this hunger and this need to fulfill my addiction. Like I said, it was a bad marriage. It was a horrible part of my life. Of course, there was times that were fun. Of course, there was times that you remember. And that's the weird thing about being in recovery. When you're in recovery, especially in the early stages, you only think about the fun times. It's like your brain shuts off your memory from all the horrible, bad times that you had while you were fighting your addiction or going through your addiction. All you can think about is the fun things, and that's your brain trying to trick you into going back to that bag. But over time, that fades. Over time, that goes. And believe me, in all the time that I partied and I got messed up and I lived by my own rules and I did what I wanted and I spent money carelessly, I had that much fun. The rest of the time I was either in prison, beefing with my family, all alone out there just feeling hopeless, like there was nothing for me. And I didn't know where to take it. I didn't know where to go, so I continued to progress as a criminal. I'm glad I realized when I did when to stop and get off the drugs. That the drugs was the only thing keeping me. The opioids, the devil, was the only thing keeping me in this system. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be breaking the law because I don't think like that. I'm not lazy. I don't want to steal for a living. I want to go out, earn my own money, and live a non-complicated life. That's all I want. But when I'm high, I'm careless, and I want the most complicated existence I can possibly have and complicate everybody around me. It gets real lonely really quick when people start shutting the door on you because you become a liability. You become dangerous. You become a problem. Once people have kids and once your addiction progresses to the point where you're smashing needles, you just become another waste man. And within 2-3 months, everybody will forget about you. You'll be somewhere in the city or somewhere in a different place with people you don't know, working as a community, just trying to get your fix, spending your whole life trying to get your fix. If you put that much effort just into getting a job and bettering yourself, you would always be successful. Addiction gives you that drive, that laser focus that you need to succeed. Now, if only you could take that and switch it into something positive and use that drive and that focus that's clearly there to do something for yourself that's positive and that helps you create something that's a little bit more long lasting than 10 minutes to 12 hours. Don't throw your life away to addiction, man. I'm telling you, it's a horrible, horrible existence. Everybody around you dies, and every year of your life you get lonelier and lonelier and older and less of a chance to turn it around. And I was blessed. I have a supportive family that educated themselves, tried to put themselves in my shoes, and were always supportive. But not everybody's got that. Not everybody has that support system. And if you don't, I don't even want to imagine what that would be like. Obviously, I share my stories with you guys, so you guys don't have to go through these things yourselves. If I could snap my finger, nobody goes through addiction. Nobody has to experience these things. That's what I do, but that's not a reality. In 2022, in the USA, 100,000 people died from opioid overdose or drug overdose. Think about that. That's more people than died from the pandemic in the 18 to 40-year-old age group. Now, Canada, I don't know the numbers. It's hard to find numbers, but I know it's 10,000 plus in the last handful of years, and it's just getting out of control. It is. All people need is a little bit of hope and just a little bit of support and someone to tell them that they believe they can change and turn it around. Nobody wants to live like that. You just think you do. It's a trap, right? Your brain just starts working against you. If you could please hit that like button, if you could please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button so you get all my videos when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that'd be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help support the channel. The link will be in the description of this video. So, if you have a family member, a loved one, a friend, anybody who's suffering from any kind of addiction, whether opioid addiction or anything else, just reach out. Tell them that you care. If you do, don't lie. Don't fake the funk. But if you do, just tell them that. And tell them, look, if you turn it around, I got you, I'm here for you. I'm not saying enable people and open the doors for people to move in. I'm not even saying that. Just a little bit of common decency shown and a little bit of love and respect, and you'd be surprised what can happen. Love each and every one of you. The New Max.